The theme of a baby cast adrift is a universal motif found in myths and legends from cultures around the world. This narrative typically involves a baby, often of royal or divine lineage, being abandoned or sent away in a desperate attempt to save its life, only to be found and raised by others, eventually fulfilling a significant destiny. Let's explore some of the most well-known stories that feature this timeless theme. In the ancient land of Egypt, a dark cloud of fear hung over the Hebrew people. The Pharaoh, a ruler consumed by paranoia and dread, had issued a merciless decree: every newborn Hebrew boy was to be cast into the Nile River. It was a desperate measure to curb the burgeoning population of the Hebrews, whom he feared might rise against him. Amidst this backdrop of tyranny and despair, a Hebrew woman named Jochebed gave birth to a son. Desperate to save her child from the Pharaoh's murderous edict, she wove a small basket from reeds and coated it with tar and pitch to make it watertight. With a heavy heart and tears streaming down her face, she placed her precious baby into the basket and set it adrift among the bulrushes on the Nile. The river's currents gently carried the basket away, its destiny now entrusted to the fates. Hours passed, and as the sun climbed higher in the sky, the Pharaoh's daughter came to the river to bathe. As she walked along the water's edge, she noticed the basket nestled among the reeds. Curiosity piqued, she ordered her maidservants to retrieve it. When she opened the basket, the baby's cries pierced the air, and her heart melted at the sight. She decided to raise the child as her own, naming him Moses, meaning drawn out of the water. Years later, Moses discovered his true identity and heritage. With a heart full of determination and divine purpose, he led his people out of bondage, becoming one of history's greatest leaders. Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Alba Longa, a tale of betrayal, destiny, and divine intervention unfolded. Rhea Silvia, a Vestal virgin, bore twin sons fathered by Mars, the god of war. Her uncle, King Amulius, had usurped the throne from her father and, fearing a prophecy that the twins would one day overthrow him, ordered the infants' deaths. With a heavy heart, Rhea Silvia placed her sons in a basket and set it afloat on the tumultuous waters of the Tiber River, praying to the gods for their safety. The river, swollen with the winter rains, carried the fragile basket through the currents and eddies, seemingly towards certain doom. But fate had other plans. A she-wolf, drawn by the cries of the infants, found the basket lodged in the riverbank. With a maternal instinct, she nursed and cared for the twins until they were discovered by a shepherd named Faustulus. He took them home and raised them with his wife, treating the boys as his own. As the twins grew, their divine heritage became evident. Strong, fearless, and charismatic, Romulus and Remus eventually discovered their royal lineage. They overthrew Amulius and restored their grandfather to the throne. The brothers went on to found a new city, but a bitter dispute arose between them, culminating in Romulus killing Remus. Romulus named the new city Rome, becoming its first king and laying the foundation for one of the greatest civilizations in history. In the ancient Mesopotamian city of Akkad, a legend was born from the humblest of beginnings. Sargon's mother, a temple priestess, faced a dire predicament. Unmarried and with child, she knew she had to abandon her newborn son to protect him from the harsh judgment of society. With a heart heavy with sorrow, she placed the infant in a basket of reeds, sealing it with bitumen to keep it afloat. The Euphrates River, vast and unforgiving, carried the tiny vessel away. For days, the basket floated downstream, buffeted by the river's currents. Finally, a gardener named Akiki, tending to his plants along the riverbank, spotted the basket caught among the reeds. Curious, he pulled it ashore and discovered the crying infant inside. Moved by compassion, Aki took the child in and raised him as his own. Sargon grew into a young man of remarkable talent and ambition. The goddess Inanna saw him and filled his heart with the desire for greatness. With divine favor and an indomitable spirit, Sargon rose from obscurity to become the ruler of Akkad, establishing one of the earliest and most powerful empires in history. In the mist-shrouded hills of ancient Wales, the tale of the poet Taliesin began with a boy named Gwion. Gwion had incurred the wrath of Saradwin, a powerful sorceress, after he accidentally drank a potion intended for her son. To escape her vengeance, Gwion transformed into various animals, but Cerridwen pursued him relentlessly. In a final, desperate act, Gwion turned into a grain of wheat, but Cerridwen transformed into a hen and swallowed him. 9 months later, Cerridwen gave birth to Gwion, now reborn as a beautiful child. Determined to rid herself of him, she sewed the infant into a leather bag and cast it into the sea. The bag drifted across the waves at the mercy of the elements. Fate intervened when Elphin, the son of a nobleman, discovered the bag while fishing. He opened it and found the radiant child inside. Naming him Taliesin, meaning shining brow, Elphin raised him as his own. Taliesin grew to become a bard of extraordinary talent and wisdom, his verses celebrated throughout the land. In a distant galaxy, on the doomed planet of Krypton, a scientist named Jor-El and his wife Lara faced a cataclysmic crisis. Their planet was on the brink of destruction, and in a desperate bid to save their newborn son, they placed him in a small spacecraft and launched it into the cosmos. The tiny vessel hurtled through the void, carrying their last hopes and dreams. The spacecraft crash landed on Earth, in the rural town of Smallville, Kansas. A childless couple, Jonathan and Martha Kent, discovered the infant inside. They named him Clark and raised him as their own. As he grew, Clark Kent realized he possessed extraordinary powers. Embracing his destiny, he became Superman, a hero dedicated to protecting humanity and upholding justice. The motif of the baby cast adrift, often facing great peril only to be rescued and achieve greatness, resonates across time and cultures, embodying themes of survival, destiny, and the triumph of the human or superhuman spirit. From the ancient banks of the Nile and the Tiber to the distant realms of space, these stories remind us of the enduring power of hope, courage, and the unbreakable bonds of love and destiny.